I'm at the Apollo. Are we on the air? Oh yeah, we are on there.
Yeah, it says broadcast is live.
It says go live now. This is the Tim. This is the Dama, bringing you the best in giant entertainment. Don was just regaling me with the fact that he was vomiting.
Oh, yes. Cheers, what an intro. Welcome back.
Well, welcome back, Dahmer. That is that. Whoops, what is that? That is your intro. We call him now the Vominator. He used to be the Dominator. He is now the Vominator.
Cheers for telling
God,
everyone.
My hair looks terrible.
Yours or mine?
Mine looks god awful. I was outside on the bike all day. So go that way.
We got storms.
Stormy weather.
Anyone on a bike today is ending up closer to you guys than they are wherever they want to go on their bike.
They're ended up in the river. I got my coffee, Dom. We got not breaking giant news, but we got giant news that came out a little bit.
Not good giant news.
Well, you know what? It's not bad giant news because I see the Twitter sphere going gaga, going implosion on this news, and the news is very simple: that Saquon Barkley is not going to be at the voluntary workouts.
Well, he wouldn't have done a lot anyway.
Here's the thing. The key word that everyone seems to be missing on the internet is it's a voluntary workouts. He probably wasn't going anyways. So why are people sitting there getting their panties in a bunch? Oh, I can't say that because that's non-inclusive. We have to be inclusive here. Getting their knickers in a bunch when he wasn't going to be there.
You made that so
much better. I made that so much better. I always do. You know, because I got to get in my chair here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. We got Chris for the love of MMA.
Balls of fire in panties, I tell you.
We're going to. Saul deserves the best, man. But I hope he doesn't take it personal and hold back on the air. It's just hope that Joe Shane comes to a contract agreement. Here's the problem with this, Chris. Why wouldn't I take it personal? Think about this, Dahmer. Think about this. You gave Daniel Jones technically on average $40 million a year. Now that's off the term of the contract, not within the first 3 years guaranteed, but you gave him technically an average $40 million. You gave him an average of over $32 million in the first 2 years, and you guaranteed $98 million. And you did this off of the thought process that he is going to be better than he was. We can all sit there and say that Daniel Jones to us is Daniel Jones was probably within the top 19, 20, 21 in reference to ranking of quarterbacks. If you sat there and ranked quarterbacks, Saquon Barkley was in the top 3 of running backs. So you're basically saying, Dom, that you are going to allow Saquon Barkley to potentially get pissed off, and you're going to give Daniel Jones all this cash, and then you're going to turn around and say, we're going to get rid of Barkley, Jones, so now you're the catalyst. You're the guy. That's a scary thought.
I believe we like to call that brave, with no sense of irony at all. I mean, look, I can see both sides, right, from this one. I wouldn't have done it if I was Joe Shane. I really wouldn't, but I can at least understand the thought process behind it. But I mean, from Barkley's point of view, it's simple. He's got 3-4 years left in the league,
right?
Roughly. If you take an average running back, there are the exceptions like Bell, that can go a bit longer, and there are other ones there. But generally speaking, that's the shelf life. He wants to get paid, and he wants to get paid now. And that, when he's playing on the tag, that's risky. What if he gets injured? What if he has a down year? He's another year older. That contract becomes harder to get. So he wants the money, and this is a contract play. You can also understand that he'd be pissed, right? As you said, top 3 running back versus top 20 quarterback.
Well, here's the thing, Dom. Here's the thing, and this is what I see on the Twitter sphere. That's why I got to stay off of Twitter. Everyone's all upset that he's holding out, and they're saying Joe Shane's playing hardball. He's not taking no gumph. He's playing hardball with Saquon Barkley here, because you know what? We can get a running back. And then they're like, plus Barkley's always hurt. Okay, Daniel Jones, until this year, had and his other 3 previous had yet to play a full season. So I would rather take the health of Saquon Barkley over the health of Daniel Jones, who was just 2 years removed from a neck injury that cost him 7-8 games.
You could probably get Saquon to agree to a 3-year I don't know, 40 million. You can probably get out after 2 with a relative cap hit. I mean, I'd like it to be less because running backs are risky contracts. But as I say, I was going through Barkley's point of view. You can understand that because that offense still revolves around Barkley. He's still the main man here.
Yes.
So I can understand it totally. From the other side, and I don't think it's hardball. I think from Shane's point of view, he's like, well, he does have an injury history. I don't think he's injury prone. I think he was unlucky.
But your quarterback
also
has
does
injury history as well, and you just gave him $98 million guaranteed
on the back of one good year, whereas Barkley's had 2.
It wasn't even a one good year. We've said this before. If you look at his stats, Daniel Jones is easily between 19 and 25 in reference to quarterback stats. Saquon Barkley is probably 3rd in the league.
Exactly. Look, you're exactly right. But on the Barkley one, from Shane's point of view, he's thinking maybe I can get a running back elsewhere, etc., etc. And he sort of thinks the market isn't great right now. What was the best? It was 7 million maybe for Sanders, something like that. And he's thinking, I don't want to pay this money. I think I can understand what they're trying to do, but I think it's incredibly risky to put your best weapon and piss him off.
I can understand what they're trying to do. We got OG Knockout in the house saying, "What's up, Tim? For love of MMA, says Barkley Saquon deserves it. I fully agree. The Jones contract screwed us. Saquon is our offense, but he is the offense. He's not basically the offense. He is the offense. And at the end of the day, if the league adjusts, like you figure they will, on the way Daniel Jones played last year." And it's not a slight against Daniel Jones. It's nobody bashing Daniel Jones, but you're not going to be able to run the play action rollout, short pass to the tight end, or run this year anymore. It reminds
not as often as we did.
It reminds me of this. It reminds me of a play from Kevin Gilbride years ago with Hakeem Nicks during his rookie season. They ran a screen pass to Hakeem Nicks. And they ran it in one game, and Nicks ran it for like 67 yards and a touchdown. So the Giants are thinking, Kevin Gilbride, genius Kevin Gilbride, was thinking, oh, we got to play. We got this play. This is a play. He must have ran that every game, at least twice a game for like 7 damn games in a row. I think they gained a total like 8 yards because the league figures it out. And that's the thing that we need to understand, that if you have a weapon like Barkley, teams are going to have to focus on that weapon. Teams are going to have to focus on his ability to not only break it out of the backfield as a runner, but as a pass catcher as well. You can sit there and tell me that Waller is going to be fantastic, but Waller is coming 3 years now. 2 years, he'll be 3 years removed from his All-Pro season. And we've talked about it before. They talk about how Josh McDaniels was traded him because he was upset with him. Got rid of him because he was upset because he didn't invite him to the wedding. That bastard didn't invite him to the wedding. The fuck is he?
I'll tell you what he should have done. He should have turned up at his house with some Bud Lights and had a barbecue.
But here's the thing. It then comes out through Derek Carr. There was somebody on the Raiders who quit on the team, and he called that player out specifically. Not at the time did they call him out specifically by name. It wasn't until after Derek Carr moved on that he says it was Waller. It was Darren Waller, the Raider that quit.
The Raider of a lost arc. I lost that joke halfway through. That went well.
I know that was there was some poor timing there. OG says Barkley deserves to have gonna get paid before Daniel Jones. Barkley is a difference maker. Daniel Jones isn't. Yeah, he deserved to get paid before Jones, and you would have paid less. Now everyone talks about how Barkley didn't take the 12.5 or the 12.1 million over the bye week. And here's the thing about that. Did you notice, Dom? I'm gonna ask you a question. What was the term of that contract?
I don't remember. 2 years, was it 3? I don't know. I don't genuinely.
What was the guaranteed money?
Guaranteed money was less than he'd get if he played out the tag over the length of that contract, wasn't it?
Nope. You want to know why you're having a hard time coming up with it?
There wasn't one.
Because the information never came out.
Well, we don't have the information, do we? Of course, yeah.
We never made. So people are like, well, he got screwed by his agent for not taking the money. We have no idea what the guaranteed money was. We have no idea what the yearly value was. And people are like, well, he screwed his agent, screwed him. I think the Giants have been playing hardball with Saquon Barkley since the bye week. I really do. And it's not that I don't think they want him back. I think they want him back and they want to be in control with the way he comes back. And I think you are playing a very dangerous game with your running back. Now, the other issue is this, Dom. Has anyone looked at the cap recently? Has anyone looked at those numbers besides me?
We got about 2.3 less than, I think, 2.2 something.
That's with the rule of 51.
Exactly. And then, so you got to knock at least another mil off that, if not 1.5.
Oh, no. With the rule of 51, we're like negative 8 million. Without the rule of 51, we'll be like negative 8
million. Right. Oh, yeah, because we haven't even got the rookies in yet.
No. Now the rookie class right now only counts for about 3.5 million during the rule of 51, and that expires because that only counts with your guaranteed contracts. And then once the rule of 51 expires, because you basically only have like the first 3 rounds, there's certain guaranteed money for your first, your second, your third rounders. So that's why there's only 3.5 needed in the beginning during the rule of 51 for the Giants salary cap. So they're fine until camp breaks, because let's just say all 11 picks, it doesn't happen all the time. But let's say all 11 picks makes the team. Then you're going to have to pick up all those contracts. So that 10.8, almost $11 million that we have to have the draft allotment for then becomes valid and then counts against your salary cap.
It's not pretty. I mean, it was always not going to be pretty this year. It's why I was surprised we made so many sort of moves we did make this year, to be honest with you. I would have thought that Shane, and he always talks about trying to not stretch the cap out, but I think he's going to have to do something, or trade some big guys here.
He's going to have to do something.
And there's minimum guys he can trade without taking a hit, right?
My head hurts after that one. Damn, Tim's smart.
He can do math. Contrary to popular opinion.
Tim does math good. Tim speaks well. Low Bud Light comment. Yeah, I had to have a Bud Light comment. I had to throw a Bud Light comment in there. I'm sorry. Emmanuel Reese says, I'm back. Cam Newton voice. Guess who's back? Back again. Emmanuel's back. We also have Todd dropping in here saying, you'll know how far. Oh, God, I can't read. You'll know how far apart they really are if there's nothing settled by the draft time and the Giants take a running back in the 3rd round. You're right. Here's the thing. You are going to need to have some idea what you're going to do, Dom, in the next 14 days. Because honestly, you run into draft time. You don't have Barkley in the contract. What do you do?
Timing's no coincidence here from Barkley. It's a contract play. It makes sense from his point of view.
I just get killed with everything. I just killed with this every freaking time. Everyone just relax, though. He's missing a voluntary workout.
I'll worry when it gets to mandatory.
When it's mandatory, then I will be concerned. He is not under contract. There is no reason for him to technically even be there because he's not under contract. It's voluntary.
It's exactly that. Exactly what I was just saying. I worry when it gets to mandatory training camp. Right now, it's a contract play. He's not going to do a lot.
I'll be worried
anyway.
Hanging over with the draft. That's what I'll be still worried about. Speaking of the draft,
get nothing. Draft, baby. Yeah.
Speaking of the draft, of course, I will be at the draft, Dom. Dom is going to be running the draft show from the UK. This is going to be impressive, guys. I want to tell everyone about this. This is going to be impressive. I'm going to take 3 subscribers to the draft party at the Giants. Now, remember, this is not general admission tickets. You're going to be on the field, on the new synthetic field. You're going to get a locker room tour. You're going to go into the coaches club and have an autograph and take part in a Giants autograph session. And then we're going to call the pick live with Dahmer, who will be running the big board in the UK as it goes out worldwide.
I've got extra hamsters on standby to make sure the electricity runs. We're bring some class and decorum to the show for that one.
We're going to have some class and decorum. But this is going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be, we got R0BR Rob, my co-host from Sunday, saying, yo, what's going on? We got OG Knockout all saying, mediocre is the best word to describe Daniel Jones. He had I wouldn't say mediocre. I'm not going to say mediocre. That would be rude. That would be mean. This is a kinder, gentler Tim. He had an average season.
Oh, that's so much better than mediocre. Oh, killing it.
Watch this. He had an average season if this was 1987.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. How many games over 200 yards, right? I mean, that is the concern.
How many games over 300 yards? How many multiple touchdown games?
I mean, look, he's the quarterback for the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, whether I like it or not. You know, and I don't like it. But he's the quarterback for the team I support, and you know, I hope he goes out there and does it. I'm yet to see it. Still, after 4 years, 4 years. This is season 5, and I'm yet to see it.
I think the Giants can win with Daniel Jones. Sorry, I was just looking for the bolt of lightning. As long as Saquon Barkley's in the backfield. I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I am very scared and very leery what the Giants will do if Daniel Jones does not have Saquon Barkley in the backfield with him.
I agree. I mean, look, every team needs to evolve their offense and defense slightly season to season. Otherwise, as you say, you get found out and you're not going to make the plays. We definitely need to evolve ours because you cannot keep winning like that. The Vikings have sort of shown it in the last few years. Good season, bad season, good season, bad season, because they're winning close games and then they're losing close games and it averages out. You'd have think playing like that again, we're going to be in a lot of close contests at best, and we're probably not going to come out on the winning side of it. And we saw it first half and second half of the season. We were against better teams this year. We're going to have to throw that football more aggressively when we do throw it, rather than these short ones and these roll action plays. We are, and Barkley is going to play a big part in that to get them worried, to allow those big plays. And you know, while I don't like our wide receiving core, we have invested in our wide receiving core in this free agency period, and Jones is going to have to try and find, you know, Campbell or Waller or one of those ones, and Waller should be a safety blanket for him if he's healthy.
Over your Crowder and Smith,
and Crowder, exactly. All of those guys. I don't, you know, we've not gone out there and got a Tyreek Hill or, you know, someone like that that's gonna, you know, or Jamal Chase. We haven't gone out and got those players, but it's not like we've gone out and, you know, picked up absolute, you know, David Sills, who remains on the roster. I know
he's on the practice.
I know. Still,
you got that wrong. He's on the practice squad.
But you know what I mean. We haven't gone out and got those sort of players and gone, hey, look what we got for you, Daniel Jones. You know, it's you know, they might not be top level, but they're not terrible. And it's going to have to evolve this year.
They're not terrible. We got Skyline saying, hey, everyone. We got Chris of Love of MMA. Barkley and Joe are playing chess, not checkers. I hope they are. I hope they're not playing chicken. That's what I'm worried about right now. That's what I'm worried about. We got Todd saying vet players under contracts don't even want to go to these things unless they're getting paid. They're not going to go. That's why it's no big deal, Todd. It's no big. Lawrence Taylor would never go to these things. Lawrence Taylor barely showed up at training camp at the end. He'd be like, I got to go to Albany. Where is that? In China? We're not going to
see you the first Sunday of September.
Yeah, I'll see you when it's time to suit up and you're going to give me a paycheck.
I mean, right. and the ones that go are just trying to ingratiate themselves with the coaching staff.
Right, that's it.
They're not going to do anything.
No, and a lot of times it's just players that are on the bubble that want to try to, try. You're right. Skyline says, come on, guys, we're picking late in the draft, so there isn't a whole lot of drama. Let's panic anyway, despite not having a legitimate reason to. That's what we're saying, man. I mean, like I said, I went on Twitter and I literally went on Twitter and I thought, oh my God, this is insane. We're talking about him missing a voluntary workout program. He can go lift weights at his house. I don't care.
It's not like there's a local area. He can just go and have a little jog.
Now, if there is, yeah, I know. It's not like he can go jog on a treadmill somewhere. If we start getting towards the draft and then we start hearing things such as the fact that, they're still far apart. I think someone in the chat said they're still far apart. Then I get concerned. Then I kind of sit there and think to myself, okay, so maybe there is something here. Maybe, when they always say where there is smoke, there is fire. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I mean, look, as I say, it's a negotiating play. Things could get messed in the next 10, 14 days. It may go on longer. We just don't know.
We just don't know. We got our 0B saying, how you guys doing? We're doing good, my friend. Dom is sick. Dom was throwing up. I don't know if I'm.
I am
don't
a
know if
lot better than I was 48 hours ago.
I'm be telling everyone Dom's personal problems, but Dom is sick. Yes,
Yeah, I literally threw up 6 minutes before the show started.
and I've already said it before. It's menstrual. Already asked. You know, I'm a good friend when Dom calls me up or texts me and says that I'm sick, and my first response to him is it COVID or menstrual?
And my response was menstrual cramps, obviously.
That's how you know I'm a good friend.
Oh, he's caring, sharing. What more can you say?
Man, I was caring. Mr. Roberts says the Giants are one of the top 2 picks in the draft next year. They better take. No, they're not going to be one of the top 2 picks in the draft. They're not. They're not. We're not going to be that bad.
Spectacularly wrong for that to happen.
We would have to be spectacularly bad, and I don't see it. I think we're a very well coached team, and I think we're fine with that. Mr. Alvarez, agree without the threat of explosion on the backfield. It's harder for Jones to use his legs the last year. I've already said it. I think Jones is only going to rush for maybe 400 yards next year. Because I think what's going to happen is the league understands this. He's not Michael Vick-esque. You don't have to put a spy on him. But what you need to do is you need to park someone in the middle of the field. And not really a spy, because he can do other things, whoever you're going to put, the linebacker, safety. But you need to stop. Daniel Jones' yardage comes from when the pocket breaks down and he steps up and he runs straight. That's when his yardage comes. Because he's like I said, he's like my old 76 Oldsmobile. You get it rolling downhill. As quick as car you'll ever see. But it's got to get rolling downhill first.
Unless it's a speed bump, at which point it falls over all by itself.
Yeah, then sometimes the hubcaps fall off. But like I said, it's going to be harder when you have that ability to key on Daniel Jones and you have the ability to key on the factor that the league is going to figure it out real quick. Because like I said, he is not Michael Vick. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Kyler Murray. He doesn't have this escape ability that these guys have, that he can just make plays at another. And Big Don, I love Big Don. Drop it in the super sticker. I don't know what super stickers are, but Big Don's always donating to the kids. And he always knows I love stickers. I've loved stickers since like the 3rd grade, man.
Do you still get them when you go to a dentist?
Yes, I do actually. Shut up. Actually, yes, I do.
Yeah,
this little bucket. Yes, they do. I was there a couple weeks ago. Yes, I got a Pokemon one. I can't remember what the other one was, but yes, I do. Uh-oh. I thought Don was going to go throw up.
No, I'm not. I'm walking off in disgust that you still get stickers that are designed for the kids when you go to a dentist.
So what are you trying to say?
That you're a huge big kid. Not that it's. Yeah. I'll tell you what the clue should have been. You've got a basement full of toys.
You see what's behind me? Yes, but now I got them all off the desk. Now I got all off the desk because you know what happens when you
put shelves up.
You get sponsors. You go out and buy shelves. And I like to thank Mint Mobile and Aurora. Mint Mobile, of course, the best in cellular service. I have a Mint Mobile phone. And Aurora, if you're looking for that internet security, make sure you go to Aurora. It's aurora.com/bigblue. It's also, if you want to sign up, it's mintmobile.com/backsplash. You know what it means, Big Blue. Go sign up, because then when you sign up, I get money. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to admit that. We got 2 more partners coming in this month. So that's gonna be
it's not like we couldn't work it out for ourselves.
We got 2 more partners coming up. Why the hell people want to partner on this show? I got no freaking clue. When I got the call from Mint Mobile, I was like, "Is this a joke?" It's like, you've seen me work? You've seen me work, right? You see me do this? And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're great." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I said, "Have Ryan Reynolds on, then I'll do it."
his Wrexham side going good guns over here, but by the way, professional is as professional does, as we'll find out on the 28th.
That's it. It's true though. R0B says, if we hear soon that they're meeting with Kareem Hunt, Barkley is gone. I think so too. I think I just don't see them moving on from Barkley. Do you see them making that type of, I mean, you went through the drama of the Jones contract, and you went through the drama of doing it last minute so you could tag Barkley. Do you see the Giants doing that, Dom? Just saying, okay, we're done?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Do you see a tag and trade potentially? Again, I don't see that. I think something will be worked out. I think something will be worked out.
Well, the problem is the Giants are limiting themselves because once the draft happens, unless there is an injury during the summer, you're probably not going to have much trade. You'll have, I mean, Barkley will always have value, but you're not going to get the value you should get. It's like when we didn't trade Landon Collins. We knew Landon Collins, what he was coming off his MVP type, defensive MVP type season year prior. A little bit of a down year. We knew we weren't going to bring him back, but we didn't trade him off when we were supposed to, when he had intrinsic value.
And the best sides know when to sell and when not to sell, right?
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, Dom. Know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money as you're sitting at the table, Dom. You have to wait until the dealing's done.
Where have you got that from?
That's a Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler.
Okay. I was like, it's a film or a song, and I don't know which.
Dom, this is why we fired you and hired R0B. We got the super chat coming in from the Zach.
Can't blame you for that either.
Zach attacks. Dom, do you think the Giants will take a step back? Dom, do you think the Giants will take a step back?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think mostly because they massively surpassed expectations last year. I think they probably surpassed everyone's expectations, by a few absolute, optimists. So I don't think it's a surprise, and I'm certainly not going to knock them if we do take a step back this year. I've always felt that this year and last year were going to be very tricky years with the cap. So I expect that we will, and people will have learned a little bit of what Dave was going to do. So yeah, I think we will, but we shouldn't be worried by that.
We potentially have Chicago Bear money next year. Because I don't think they're going to rework the contract of Leonard Williams. I don't think they're going to rework the contract with Dory Jackson. I think they're going to try to get out from all underneath that.
I think so.
I think they're going to have, even though you're going to be paying Daniel Jones $40 million, which is going to be like 18% of your entire contract, salary cap.
Salary cap next year going to Jones. That's a worry, but hey, that's done.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think of it that way. I know I got to go back and get a couple of these other questions, but I got to jump into Todd Taylor. So take it easy, Stroker Race. I actually just watched Smokey and the Bandit yesterday. So Stroker Race is another really bad Burt Reynolds movie with Lonnie Anderson. He's a NASCAR driver, and Parker Stevenson plays Aubrey James. And I am actually embarrassed that I know all this.
I'm not too worried that I didn't.
He's the fastest chicken in the South. We got to get here to Mr. The Hard Way. Let's say at this point, we have to hope DJ earns every penny. So it seems he is the guy for the next 3 years. NFC quarterbacks who are not at the level at the AFC. So God help us. I think, if Shane, I've said this before, Dom, and I've said it again. If Shane and Dable see something in Daniel Jones, it is what it is. I mean, do I have to see it? No, I don't have to see it. Do I have to agree with him? No, because I'm allowed to make content. I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a big grown ass man too. I do whatever the hell I want to do.
I'm a small grown ass man, and I can say what I want. Yeah, right. They're the ones that matter right now. They're the ones that will run the team, and they will live and die by that decision. Right. I don't agree with it. I think it's the wrong decision, but Here we are.
This is where we're at. But at the end of the day, if they see something, at the end of the day, they think they can make something work. That's fine. But you don't have to agree with it. You are allowed. And now I know the Daniel Jones Petty Boys would be different about this, but you are allowed to voice your own opinion. It's okay. It's okay.
The day you agree with everything the team's doing is the day you're not really being a proper fan. You're just following blindly. You're
a sheep. But you have to have faith in Dable. You have to have faith in Shane. I don't see it because, like I said with
King of the Almost Sack,
when we had that one good year and we gave him the big contract, I said you cannot negate what he was for the first 5 years. You can't forget those first 5 years happened.
Well, apparently you can.
That's also Dave Gettleman. But this is what scares me a little bit, and I'm going to say a bad word. This could potentially, the Daniel Jones contract could potentially be his Gettleman move.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work out, I've already said this. If this doesn't work out, Joe Shane's getting fired. 100. If Daniel Jones doesn't work out and the Giants suck for the next 3 years, Joe Shane's getting fired. He's not going to have the ability to pick his own quarterback. I've said this before. When Daniel Jones inked that contract, he's no longer. We no longer can talk about how he was drafted by Dave Gettleman. We now have to talk about how he was re-signed by Joe Shane. So that means this is Joe Shane's pick.
It is very rare as a GM you get to go twice if you got it wrong the first time.
Right.
And while he hasn't drafted him, as you say, he signed him. So therefore, he is now his quarterback.
And
You're exactly right.
If Daniel Jones runs the term is, I mean, he runs the guaranteed money, he'll have already been in the league for 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have to continuously sit there and say, you know what? Year 8's the year that he turns the corner.
But it's written in the stars and on his shirt, so it might well be.
It might well, but that's the thing. And like I said, I hope to God Daniel Jones plays well. I hope to God Daniel Jones balls out. I hope to God. And that's why I hate when people are like, you just want him to fail. No, I hope to God he plays well. I'm a season ticket holder, dummies. I'm not talking to people in chat. I'm talking about the dummies that say these things to me on Twitter. If he fails, my tickets are worthless, like they have been for 15 years. Or not 15 years. So he's got to perform, and the Giants only succeed if their quarterback Dom plays well.
Yeah, no one wants him to fail because you want your team to win.
Right, you want your team to win.
It doesn't stop you having a view that you're not sure that he's gonna, and the evidence is not there that he's gonna. You know, I used the word earlier. He had a good year. I was sort of using how Shane Dable presumably must have seen it or were told by Mara, but I don't necessarily buy that last bit of narrative. To sign the new contract, but it's, as you say, it's not a good year. It just happens to be his best year. And there's a difference.
He has his best year. Super chat from Zach Tech says, Tim, Gen Z doesn't like opinions, which DJ fans are. I mean, yes, I do think the younger generation of fans.
I genuinely thought that was a YouTuber I didn't know for a second.
What's that?
I genuinely thought Gen Z was a YouTuber.
No, go find the YouTuber Gen Z.
It's been a long few days.
Like I said, I mean, it's just one of these things that, yeah, in some ways, I think, and we've talked about this. I don't want to talk about it as nauseam, but the younger fan base, I think, some ways does not understand football, like some understand the nuances of football. I think they take things too personally. I think they take things, everything is a slight against them, and I laugh because I was getting blasted yesterday on Twitter. I love this because of the fact that I like Malik Willis, and Malik Willis is they're talking about Malik Willis falling out of favor in Tennessee because of the fact that, well, he wasn't drafted by the new general manager, and Mike Vrabel actually, I don't think ever really liked Malik Willis because of the fact that during his second preseason game, he told him to stay in the pocket. You are not allowed to run. So you're taking the one thing Malik Willis does extremely well and telling him he can't do it. But a long story short, so you have all these people that someone posted something because I said there was an article on on Sports Illustrated that said, the Giants were going to take Malik Willis 5th overall. And I reposted, I retweeted it, or whatever it's called. And then so people are like, well, look, you said they were going to take him. No, I never said that. And I never even said in the tweet. And I then posted my video and said that I think they should go linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau with their first 2 picks. And that Malik Willis is a project pick who should sit there and wait. So I bring all this up, and then kind of like Gen Z, what Zach is telling me, they all get upset because of the fact that I'm actually bringing up points that create non-validity towards what they're saying. So, I mean, it's the day of my fucking life.
You get it all the time. And look, as you get older as well, you see the patterns over history and time, right? In whatever sport you follow, you see the careers and patterns, and you get that these things are processed. You don't get everything you want overnight. Right. And you learn that as you get older, sometimes the hard way, as some of these guys will find out.
What does Mr. Bruce have to say? Hey, Tim, great show. If Saquon leaves, this is going to be an excuse for Well, that's a good question because he asked this question. Is this going to be an excuse for DJ? Would you rather sign him to a long-term deal or let him walk? I prefer to let him walk. Running backs aren't valuable. Here's the problem, Mr. Bruce. Running backs are valuable to this team. That's the thing. To this organization, you almost can say, Dom, that you have Saquon Barkley as your primary weapon, Daniel Jones as your second, as your quarterback who gives the ball to the primary weapon, and who basically, if he can't turn around and hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, you're going to have a big trouble because people are going to put 7, 8, 9 in the box and dare you to throw. Now, unless you're drafting a wide receiver, and unless Waller becomes what he was going on 3 years, you're going to be relying on Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, hopefully Wan'Dale Robinson at one point in time, Brad Smith, Crowder or Chowder, whatever the hell his name is that we got. So for most organizations, the dangerous David Stills, for most organizations, yes, you could get a running back later, but the Giants are built to be a running team, and they are built to have that. There's an aura about Saquon Barkley when he's in the backfield. There's an aura. I'm not saying he's touched by the hand of God. I'm not saying that he's touched by the hand of God. I'm not saying he's a gold jacketer, but there is something that you need to focus on when he is in the game.
He's something you're worried about the whole time, both running and receiving. And you're exactly right. There are some teams like the Chiefs, you could plug almost any running back in, right, and they're still going to be effective because Mahomes can do anything. They've got wide receivers, and therefore you're worrying about all those things. And that running back suddenly gets a little bit more space to run into because they're worried about the weapons that Mahomes might throw to, or he's going to take off. With Jones, you know what the cue is going to be to take off, so you're just looking for that. Right. You're talking about the spy, you don't necessarily need it, but essentially that's what you're looking for. And the wide receiving core is better, I think, this year. Or on paper it is. It might not pan out to be that way. But the key that you're worried about every single time he's on the field is number 26. What's he going to do? Is he taking off with it? Is he going to catch it? And he goes left. Does that mean that Jones is going to run right? You do not know. And that is why he is so valuable. So as a general rule, you take your quarterback, not your running back. But we are not the general rule on this occasion.
In this case, we are 100%. We are not the general rule. Christopher Love MMA says, losing service, driving. I'll watch till the end. Respect him, Giants, Dom, and Giant fans. Thank you, Mr. Christopher Love of MMA. I hope you have yourself a
safe journey home.
I would say safe journey. Todd Taylor said, I don't do blind faith with people until they actually win something, and that has to be more than one world championship win. I mean, I don't think anyone should do blind faith. I think everyone should question something. I mean, that's just my opinion, Dom. I don't think. I'm just trying to make sure. First round schedules for the NBAs are out. That's how good the Mint mobile phone is. It causes static on everything because the signal's just so strong.
By the way, I sent you a doozy of a message, which you'll love when you come off.
Did you chat it? Did you text it to me?
Yeah, WhatsApp or whatever it is.
Okay, because I had my phone off by accident.
That's all right. You'll love it. You'll love it when you get it.
Yeah. Let's see here. No, 1.3 miles. Who knows? 1.3 miles. Hold on a second. No, I'm not doing that with Dom. I'm just what do we got? Dom, read this comment. I'm looking for something here.
Shane won't get fired, Tim. He was more or less badgered by Mara to put the pieces around Jones. Shall I take that one?
Answer that question, Dom.
I was going to say, shall I take that one?
Take that question, Dom.
I mean, you can understand the legitimacy of that argument, given that he's always been a big Jones backer. We don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I'm still not 100% convinced by that argument. I'm not sure Dable was such a fan of Jones as Shane appears to be, and maybe that's because of Mara in his ear, but I'm not sure I 100% buy that narrative. Well,
according to Chat GPT, it was not Mara's fault. To those that do not know, I did a video today. I did a video today where I asked, what the hell's wrong with me today?
Speaking of asked, how many people have we managed to lose while I've been on air?
Pretty good. We're pretty low today, but that's all right. We're only in the 40s, so that's good.
I meant subscribers. How many have I tanked?
I thought you had people watching, but I asked ChatGPT, which knows everything, which is like the all and powerful Oz. It knows everything. I asked if John Mara was the reason why the Giants weren't winning, and it said basically no. Mike Glenn says, completely agree. Jones is now Shane's guys. Win, lose, or draw. He is. You sign the contract. That's his guy. That's fine. But at the end of the day, he's got to understand, and I hope Shane does. And so anyone could tell me any different, but Dom has said it best. In this league, there's not too many general managers that have gotten to pick 2 quarterbacks in their tenure with a team. I mean, name me one.
Did the Cardinals keep their GM after they did Rosen and then went to Murray?
Well, no, they went to Murray because they got a new head coach.
Yeah, but they still had the same GM, so he got to pick twice.
Yeah, but that doesn't really count because you got a new head coach.
Name one, I just did.
And also, Josh Rosen, everyone knew was a knucklehead.
Well, they still drafted him
because they're idiots.
Yeah, but he still got to pick 2.
They didn't fucking call me. They could have called me. I would have told them, don't draft him. I did a video about not drafting him. Actually, I wasn't making videos back then, but I would have done a video. What does Chris say? Are we forgetting that John Mara stated Daniel Jones is who we thought he was well before? Actually, it's true. Well before Shane pulled the trigger. I do think Mara has his thumb on the scale, so to say, Dom, on this one. I do think so. I do think he's got some influence over the signing, and rightfully so, because he is the owner of the team.
He should have a say, right, and that's right. But I don't think he was the I just don't buy that he's the all-determining factor here on this occasion. I just don't. I think he has some say, but I don't think he's the all-determining
here's my question to you, Dom. A lot of the last Eli Manning contract, a lot of people say that it was Mara who gave Eli that money, and that he is the one that really pushed to have Eli sign that, have the Giants have Eli sign that contract. So why wouldn't it seem the same that he would have the same type of influence over the Daniel Jones contract?
He may well have done. It is absolutely possible, and we'll probably we'll never know the full truth of it. But I think there is a difference between Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. One is that one eats Chris really loudly and annoys his brother.
But we kind of all knew Eli Manning was on the downslope.
But of course, yeah.
I mean, I loved Eli Manning. I loved him as a Giant. But I knew, and I talk about that last game in against Washington on New Year's Eve, where it was like negative 23 degrees. There was maybe only 10,000 people in the stands. And I stood on that field and below freezing, it was really like negative 23 degrees with wind chill. I stood on that field until that game ended, and they actually beat the Washington team. New Orleans Darkwa busted out of like a 62-yard run to help win that game. But I stood there because I thought it was going to be Eli Manning's last game, because he still had, he didn't really have any guaranteed money on that contract. But for some reason, we rolled it back again the next season. I think a little bit of that has to do with Mara.
I think some of it is absolutely fine. I just don't buy it. Is Chris could well be right, and that is a legitimate view. I certainly wouldn't trust that as conspiracy theory talk. It could well be the case, but I think Eli Manning was a two-time winning Super Bowl champion, and we wanted to roll it back and see if we could find magic one last time.
No, I don't,
behind Jones is much harder.
I don't disagree. And we got a super chat from Mr. Mike Glenn. Last year, offensively reminded me of when Miami first ran the Wildcat. I expected the offense still to take a step back as the league figures it out. I remember Pat White was the quarterback. Was not the quarterback. Pat White was the quarterback, I believe, out of Auburn, who was drafted by Miami, who was supposed to be the quarterback that ran that Wildcat, I believe, with Ronnie Brown at running back, and it just didn't. I mean, it worked a little bit, and then it kind of tried to catch on the rest of the league because it worked for a couple of games. But I think the Giants' offense. The problem with that is the Wildcat. It has a little pizzazz. It's got a little salt in that pepper. The problem with the Giants' offense is it's kind of like eating bland chicken. You have to eat it. It's good for you. It's going to, at the end, make you healthy and make you win, but there's not much there.
It doesn't excite you, right?
It doesn't excite me. It's like bland chicken.
I wonder
eating an ice cream. You can't eat it for dinner every day, but you know what? Every once in a while, it works out.
I wonder if actually numbers will go up on the offense this year, but I think that will also be numbers will go up on the downside as well in terms of things like interceptions and what have you will also go up with it. But I wonder if they will have to try and take a slightly more risky approach this year, particularly if Barkley's not there. But even assuming he's there, I wonder if they will try and evolve this offense this year because I think Dable realizes that unless he goes big on defense and we go draft heavy on defense, sort of first 2-3 picks on defense, he's going to have to light up the offense a little bit more than he did this year.
We're going to, I've said it before, there's a word in Webster's, vertical. We have to try.
You're gonna have to try.
We have to try.
Otherwise, you're trying to win it on defense, and that's defense.
Not a bad way to win. Not a bad way to win.
But we're going to need to draft well on defense to give those guys a better chance.
Guys hit the like button. We're at 22 likes. We need to get those likes up. We got to run through some of these comments because I got some people in here. Chris says, I still think this was Mara. I kind of don't disagree. Zach Attack says, sorry, Tim, I love to rag on my generation. That's all right, Zach Attack. For those that don't know, go watch Matt Ramblings of a Gen Xer. Get Off My Lawn. What a great podcast that is. It's an awesome podcast, Tom.
Who's the host? Tim?
I don't know who the host is, but it's Get Off My Lawn, the Matt Ramblings of a Gen Xer. Had our first week of 10,000 downloads. What the hell's wrong with people? I saw that. I saw the numbers pop up.
That's pretty impressive, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I saw the numbers pop up, and I said, this can't be right. Says, am I downloading this 9,999 times? What the hell's wrong with people?
Is that like when you created all those fake accounts for your subscriber account?
That's how I got up to 11,000. I had to create 11,000 fake accounts, but it took me a while, but I did it. Mike Lentz is a newer generation fans. It's newer generation of fans of players over team. I hear that a lot. You know, that there's a lot going on here. I want to get to one of Logic's finest. Logic Finest is in the room. What's going on, Logic's Finest? Jones getting this contract is all John Mayer. The Giants won 4 games against good teams in 2022 with a weak schedule. They finished with 3 wins after a 6-1 start. I pointed that out a million times. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. We got Metro.
We might want to point out a few more times this year, potentially.
Potentially, we could. Metro says Giants need to trade Leonard Williams. His production does not match his salary. Plus, he doesn't stop the run.
King of the almost sack.
Actually, the Giants played better against the run in games that Leonard Williams was out, and that is a statistical fact. And I find it interesting because I've said it before, Dom. I think what the Giants need to do, the Giants need to keep Kayvon Thibodeau as a defensive end, as the right defensive end. And they need to find or draft a quality outside linebacker who you can pair with Thibodeau and have them with the understanding that they need to push or maintain their assignments on their outside against the run and push it into the middle of the field because of the fact that that's where your strength is supposedly going to be with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. But to Metro's point, Leonard Williams has not played the run well in an extended period of time.
When's Leonard Williams' contract due?
His contract, this is it.
This is last year.
This is his last year.
Oh, he's going to be phenomenal this year. Don't be silly.
This is his last year. He has a $10 million dead cap number. Excuse me, a $5 million dead cap number next year.
He's got a dead year, hasn't he?
Yeah, but hold on, I'm typing what I want for dinner.
Far more important. But no, I mean, to the point, I'm not sure that there's a necessarily big market for Leo, but I mean, I didn't like it at the time. I still don't like it now. I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but he is way overpaid for the.
He's overpaid. He's not terrible. He's to Metro's point. His production does not equal his contract value.
Yeah, it's nowhere near.
You know what? I died yesterday a little bit inside. I was watching
on Friday. You could have come back Sunday.
That's what she said. I was watching. I wasn't watching. I was reading something, and an article came up.
Read. That's and reading.
Tim can read. And I love it because an article came up, and the headline of the article was talking about the draft and a term that this guy just started using. He said he just came up with this term that he's going to start using over and over again, and that term was positional value.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
I was like, motherfucker, I've been saying that for like 4 years.
I mean,
I have to send you the link because I nearly died.
Jesus Christ.
I nearly died. I was really?
I mean, teams may not use that exact term, but essentially that they will do that. Why don't centers go so often in the first round?
We already did a wonderful video about that.
We did. We talked about it when we were talking about I can't remember the center's name. Linderbaum.
Yeah. Tyler.
You know, it was like there was no way we were drafting him. It was way too high to draft him.
Swing Coach TV, who has now been on the channel.
Yes,
a great gentleman. I actually had a fantastic time when he came on. He also looked like Wyclef John, so that was also kind of cool. He said, "Do you think we'll draft a running back?"
Zach's gonna have to Google that one. It's before his time.
I think we only draft a running back early or at 25 if we think Saquon Barkley's gone.
There's another scenario where we do that, and I think it unlikely, which would be because I don't necessarily know if there's the value at 25 for linebacker, which is obviously a big need, and if the cornerbacks and wide receivers have gone off the board that we would want at that point, and we can't trade back, then maybe we do that. But I don't think it's likely.
The Giants, Joe Shane has said this before. He has discussed taking best player available. The problem is this: technically, your two best players are, even by contract, are your quarterback and your running back. So the two players that the Giants probably will not take best player available on will be those two positions. You can take best player available on any other position on this team. Seriously, you really can. Except for those two positions. So I think if that's the case, if everything is, and I've said this before, if the scenario comes up that the players that the Giants really want at that 25th position, the Giants to me trade out of the first round.
That's what I was saying. I said, if you're in that position where all of those options are gone and you can't trade out, but I just like I said at the start, I don't think it's likely, but you know, I think you'd try and trade back.
I still think the Giants trade out. Because it helps them. It helps them with the salary cap. You get out of that first round money. Your trade-off is, though, you don't have a fifth-year option on that second round pick. That's your trade-off. But you will take away that large chunk of guaranteed money for that first rounder and then lower it into second round money. Which will allow you to do more things with your cap. But the only way I think we take a running back in the first round or even the second round is if Barkley if Barkley is not coming back.
I think that's the most likely. I can't, like I said at the start, I can't see it. That's the only other scenario I can see that happening, but I think that's highly unlikely. And there's not much difference, if I'm honest, between 25 and 35 in this draft, to be honest.
No, talent-wise, no. Salary-wise, yes.
Massive, yeah. That's why I was talking talent, not salary.
Massively, but talent-wise, no. Mr. Hardwood says that's what sucks. We're not the general rule. But pay the quarterback $40 million, whereas success is dependent upon the most injury-prone position in sports. He's not wrong. I mean, yeah, he's right. We are not right. The 2023 Giants is not, and the 2022 Giants, we are not the rule of thumb. You need to bring in your running back to make your quarterback better.
And we didn't learn.
I've said this before. It's like early Dak Prescott.
Exactly
Dak
what I was going to say.
Played extremely well those first 3 years and he played well right away when he had a healthy Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
And then once Zeke kind of went down, Dak has been up and down ever since then.
The literal point I was going to make, I was like, we didn't even learn from our rivals in the East, the Cowboys. Exactly what I was going to say.
Skyline says, who do you think will take the biggest step this year, offense or defense?
Defense.
I would hope it's the offense. Because we keep hearing now how we're going to have a second year of continuity in the Giant offense. So I would hope it's the offense, though.
defense will.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll know more after the draft, but I think that we're going to be relatively defense heavy on the draft. We've not done so much to help Wink in free agency as we have the offense. Okure, Orakeke, or however you say his name, is a really nice pickup for him. But okay, yeah. But otherwise, we haven't done so much, and I think it'll be helpful Wink there. And you help Wink, and Wink delivers with that blitz heavy aggressive defense. That might help the offense by giving them better field position as well. But we'll see.
Mr. Alvarez says this: people forget Saquon's big play, i.e. the 20+ yards, third down conversions in the Bear games, the 20+ runs after the wheel route in the Saints game. Saquon's multiple 100-yard games. Saquon equals the offense. You're right. Of all of the game-winning drives that the Giants are crediting Daniel Jones for, we've already talked about it. I mean, Mike Too Nice, I was on his program. I don't remember what it was, but he actually had it broken down where out of those 4 game-winning drives, Daniel Jones was like 4 for 5 for 11 yards passing the ball. And then one of those drives, he never even threw a pass. It was because of the running of himself and Saquon Barkley. So yes, Mr. Alvarez is 100% correct on that. We have the Hardway says, I bet the GM of the Jets will get a second shot at a quarterback. Yeah, if he takes Aaron Rodgers. That's the only way he's gonna say. We have those sounds of Sinatra and the way you look tonight. Welcome, Frank. Yes, haven't seen you in a while. We also have DJ's contract is a 2-year deal with a 2-year extension. Well, technically, you want to get technical about it, it's kind of a 3-year deal because you have an $18 million dead cap number in that 3rd year. That's going to be a big number because here's the thing about the contract now, and this is what I try to explain to people. If you get out of that contract in year 3, right? It's $18 million, right? That cap number, right? Okay, keep nodding.
Yeah, I'm nodding with you.
Now you sign a quarterback, right? Are you bringing another quarterback? And let's just say for averages, we're paying this quarterback $20 million.
It's 38.
So your cap number for your quarterback is technically $38 million.
Plus paying the backup.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay the backup either way.
Yeah,
but that's what I try to explain to people. That I always allocate sometimes positions by salary. And sometimes you have to remember when you have that dead cap number, that person's not there, that allocation of salary has to go into that bucket. So if there's a quarterback bucket, it's still that 18 million still has to go somewhere. And to me, that goes in the quarterback bucket.
You can't play without one, so you're gonna have to find a new one.
Right. So you're gonna have to pay the quarterback you let go 18 million. And let's just say that we sign let's say we go out and sign Josh Burrows. I know it's not happening. Let's just say we do. And we give him $50 million.
Nice, wouldn't it be lovely?
It would be lovely. And we give him $50 million. Technically, that first year is $68 million. That's what people need.
Shouldn't be a problem because the cap of goals is a living, breathing thing.
It's a living, breathing thing that I love it. That always, it's got the feng shui or the shui feng.
It's in a beautiful relationship with the turf monster.
I don't know what button that is.
Tim
knows what that is.
It's Daniel.
What's yours?
Hi, everyone. This is Tim Online Big One. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what button the turf monster is. Turf monster's way in the back. It's way in the back. I got a list now.
If he's way in the back, Daniel Jones definitely won't be able to find him with the throw.
I'm not even going to try to. We got a new turf though. And it's a turf that it seems to be, and I'm going to talk about the turf when I'm at the draft. Here's the only thing I don't get about the turf, Dom, and talk to me about this a second.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do have to talk to me because you want to know why?
It's your show.
Turf Monster Smash.
Talk to me about the turf monster a second because I want to talk about this for a second. Giants put in a brand new turf. Right?
Yeah.
The draft party is at Giant Stadium. Season ticket holders are on the field.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have like 4,000 or 5,000 people walking all over your brand new turf. Do you think like the Giants had like a coupon And the guy that installs the turf basically said, listen, this coupon's only good until like April 6th. And you're going to save 20% off your installation. And we're going to give you the third room for free. And that's why they put the turf in before they are going to have all these people standing on it.
I just don't think they were smart enough to think about it.
Oh my God. Logic Spine says, Dom, you're wrong. Mara
I normally am, to be fair.
Mara traded OBJ. Mara interfered the same way Jerry Jones does. Yeah, it's true. I don't know if Dom is wrong. I think we're all wrong. I want to know what does Mr. Cortez Smith have to say? I feel like the Giants are having a change in the scheme with this new wide receiver. Feel like a KC system. The only problem, Dom, with Cortez Smith's comment here is the fact that we're missing a component. We are slightly missing. Let's get up to 40 likes. Also, we're slightly missing a component here.
Kermit the Frog. Seriously, close your eyes, listen to Mahomes speak, and tell me it's not Kermit.
How many Super Bowls did he have?
Kermit?
Yeah.
I don't think he's got any.
Exactly. How many does Mahomes have?
A couple.
He's got 2. How many has he been to?
3.
Okay, you know what? I don't care if my quarterback sounds like a helium balloon.
Do what he wants.
Don't care.
Play like Mahomes.
You go to 3 Super Bowls, you win 2. You could sound the whatever you
can sound whatever you like. I'm Jeffy BT. I'm the new quarterback of the Giants.
I don't care what the hell you sound like. You go to 3 Super Bowls and win 2.
And I'll tell you what, I ain't bothered if he doesn't turn up to voluntary training camp neither.
I don't care if he shows up the day before training camp. Mr. Hardaway says, not to mention Mara had Chris Merritt in the scouting department way too long. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
with that. Stu is coming in here said, hey, Tim, he can walk Saquon, maybe have taken 3 from the original deal. I should have taken. Yeah, like I said, Stu, we talked about this. Nobody, and I quizzed Dom on it. Nobody knows what the original deal is. The Giants haven't come out. I love it when everyone was speculating what the contract offer was to Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. And everyone was like, well, he should have just taken it. He was stupid for not taking it. And then Lamar Jackson came out and said, all right, fine. You know what? Here's what they offered me. And anyone that's found out what they offered him should have been like, no, that's not right. Can't offer Lamar Jackson that. No one from Saquon's camp is coming out and saying what the guaranteed money was. They're not saying the terms. So I'm thinking it's not as good as people think it is, Dom. We've talked about this.
Time will tell on that one, but you'd have thought that it wasn't that. They were trying to lowball him. I suspect that's probably right.
Whose birthday is it? Zach says happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? Did I miss someone's birthday?
I did. I can't see it.
Did I miss Tom? Go back and see if I missed someone's birthday. Because you know I love to sing.
You're not really incentivizing me to go back and look, but I will look.
Go back and look.
I am going back to look. Calm down.
Save Barkley. You know what I'm going to do, Dom?
No, I can't see anyone's birthday on there.
All right, Zach, don't screw with me. Or is it happy birthday to you, Zach? Someone let me know. Here's what I'm going to do, Dom. I still have the $1.98 that we raised for Isaac Yiadom's bus ticket. I am going to offer that right now to Joe Shing. You can have my $1.98 Isaac Yiadom bus ticket money if you sign Saquon Barkley. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not sure he needs to be incentivized to sign Saquon Barkley. Surely, you'd like to think.
No, I'm helping. I'm pitching in some
that
cash.
That $1.99, that will make that will tip the difference.
First of all, it's $1.98.
No, I do apologize.
I don't have no penny to give anybody. Chris says, I hope DJ Davidson picks up where he left off. Giants are better against the run. Actually, they are better against the run with DJ Davidson in there. So you are 100% correct.
I like Davidson.
I like Davidson a lot. I like Davidson when we draft him. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm under the impression that Jones' contract is a 4-year deal that has an out after the team. It is a 4-year deal. First 2 years guaranteed. 18 million guaranteed, or I forget what the guarantee there's. I don't remember what the guaranteed money is in year 3, but there's an $18 million dead cap hit in year 3. So technically it's a 2-year contract, but like I said, you have to systematically think that even if you get out in year 3, there's still that $18 million dead cap number, which then needs to be added on to whatever your new quarterback's contract value is. And this is the way and like I said, when people say to me, you talk about these buckets and all these things, I don't make this shit up. I can tell you firsthand, this is the way some NFL general managers and some cap people for NFL teams figure out the cap and how they determine salaries and contract values. I've seen it firsthand. So like I said, I don't just come up with this stuff because I'm a genius. I wish I was, because I can say, oh yeah, I thought about that. I'm a genius. We already know I am. But yeah, I don't make this stuff up. I wish I did, because then I would sound really smart.
It's Claire Danes' birthday. She's the most famous person I can find with a birthday.
Claire Dane. Well, happy birthday.
And Dave Letterman as well.
I know Dave Letterman, and I don't know who Claire Dane is. Who's Claire Dane? Dane?
She was in Homeland and Romeo and Juliet. I'm sure she was in a bunch of other stuff. Well.
Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo
DiCaprio, yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Frank S says, I know Claire Dane is then. I don't think DJ improves on. I don't think DJ improves on last year. The 2-year deal, and shouldn't draft Hooker as development. We should draft. I always like, I love Hendon Hooker. I've said it before. The age doesn't scare me. The injury doesn't scare me. What scares me is you're going to have to create a system for him with the Giants, and I don't think the Giants have the personnel to create that system to make him successful, and I don't think he'll be ready. Because here's the thing they talk about with Hooker, though, and this is what always gets me. They always say he's going to be ready for the start of the season. Does that mean he is going to be ready to start the season as a player, or does that mean he is going to be ready to the point where the season starts and he is healthy enough to start doing football activities?
I mean, I don't think we're signing Hooker, so let's forget it. But secondly, wherever Hooker goes, it's going to be where you've got a quarterback you're comfortable with for this season, because I don't see him coming into late season, if I'm honest, at best. And I think, to be honest, if you take Hooker, you develop him this year off the field, sort of Jordan Love-esque, and I know Love's been sitting for a while, but and then you go with Hooker next year. That's the type of team needs to be thinking when they're taking Hendon Hooker this year.
You can never go wrong with a hooker. Mike Glenn, this is the least talented Giants team that I have seen drafting this low. You're not wrong. The Giants have many issues and have a dearth of not only starting talent, but backup talent. And
we started backups, basically.
Everyone's excited that we signed what's his name, Bobby McCain, whatever his name is. I forget the safety that we got from Washington. You got an itch, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone's excited that we paid him the veteran minimum.
There's a reason for that.
We also signed the kid from Pittsburgh who has only started 5 games at center. We paid him the veteran minimum. We signed the press cover corner from Detroit, who I've talked to people in Detroit, and the same people I talked to about the Kenny G, and so I'm gonna go with their opinions, who said, great kid, very physical, has no speed, has problem with fluidity in the hips, and he's a good press cover corner, but if someone gets behind him, good night. Forget about it. He does not have the makeup speed, who we gave a veteran minimum contract to.
They just treated Okuda as well today, didn't they?
What's that? Oh yeah, they just traded Okuda for like a 5th round pick or something like that.
5th round pick, yeah.
Something like that. I saw that. But like I said, the Giants Bobby Okereke was the Giants' big free agent signing. Darren Waller was their big trade. Those are your 2 big guys. Paris Campbell, to me, nice pickup if he stays healthy, but this is the only year he has stayed healthy since Ohio State.
It's a low risk, high upside trade.
It's a low risk, high upside contract. So I mean, you are signing guys that, if at the end of the day things go outside of the Waller, because Waller's $11 million guaranteed, and Shane was smart enough to turn around and convert most of that into a salary bonus. So because he knew the money was guaranteed anyways, which was going to save him cap space. So I mean, at the end of the day, You know, that's and it's a 1-year rental. He's got no money guaranteed after this year. It's if he flames out, if he flakes, you get out next year, you're fine. So I mean, Joe Schoen is making astute moves that could have high upside, Dom, but they also have the potential to fall off the cliff.
They do. They don't sort of fit in with his philosophy that he was saying about reliable players, in terms of, not that they're not reliable on the field, it's the fact they're not reliable at getting on the field. But he has the outs. He has the ability to get out nice and easy from these if it goes.
You think about it this way: if Paris Campbell plays extremely well and stays healthy, can he improve upon last season? This isn't rhetorical.
I don't think so.
You don't think he can? I think he. But do you think he can be just as competitive? And as we say that,
and I wouldn't put it on Paris Campbell if he didn't achieve last season's numbers potentially if he stayed healthy. I think that Jared Goff was a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
But Paris Campbell played in Indianapolis.
Oh, was it? Yeah, he did before that, didn't he? Play for the Lions?
No, Paris Campbell's played for the Colts.
Yeah, he played. I thought he went to the Lions for a year.
No, that's not Paris Campbell.
No, that's my bad. I knew he was at the Colts. I thought he played 1 year in Detroit and then came to us. I knew he was drafted by the Colts.
He's played his entire career for the Colts.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Okay, and everyone, we will be hosting a new segment called "Replace the Dahmer" on the streams.
No, my bad. I knew he was drafted by him, but I thought he'd gone 1 year to Detroit.
If you swing and miss, like I said, but if he stays healthy, you could potentially have the same type of production he had last year, right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, you have to say that Daniel Jones is better than X that they had in
the Colts. Yeah. Oh, without doubt, the Colts have not had a quarterback since Rivers.
And then if Walla stays healthy, you have to think that. Now, I don't think Daniel Jones is a better quarterback or as good as a quarterback as Derek Carr, but you have to have the thought process is that he can still have a good safety net type season for Daniel Jones because of the fact that at one point in time, he was considered to be one of the best tight ends, or at that time, 3 years ago now, that he was one of the best tight ends in football.
Yeah, right? Like you say, he's fallen off a cliff, but
he's fallen off a cliff a little bit because of injury. But potentially these moves you can look at could be huge home run moves if the health factor is there. And we've talked about it before. The best ability is availability. So if they're available, the Giants' offense technically should be much better.
We spoke about it at the top of the show about how you've upgraded the weapons around him on paper this offseason.
So, well, we have to wait and see. What is Frankie has to say, Tim? But how much will the cap increase in 3 years? It's all relative. Here's the problem. I remember a couple of years back, 3 years ago, Dom, that the cap was going to go up exponentially, and then COVID hit. The cap went down. You can't sit there and you don't know we have no idea how the collective bargaining agreement is going to play into this. We have no idea how revenue is going to play into this. There had been point in times where everyone thought the salaries in baseball were even going to go even higher than they are now, but that stopped because of the fact that people stopped paying the amount of money that they were to go to games. So we don't know how much the cap's going to go up. Hope it continues to go up.
Normally it does, and you'd expect it probably to. But let's say it goes up 60 mil in the next 3 years. You're still spunking a third of that increase on that dead cap number on one player, and there will be others.
What makes turf better than natural grass? Because it's cheaper to maintain. No, seriously, that's why. That's not even a joke. And I will tell you this firsthand from Tampa. A grass field is a bitch to maintain, and it's expensive. And the reason why they created AstroTurf in the 70s was it was for multi-use stadiums. Wow, I'm old. For multi-use stadiums, so they didn't have to keep taking up the sod and replacing it during events, that they could just keep the same turf on the field, and the maintenance is a hell of a lot cheaper on artificial turf than it is on grass.
And there's logic to that. I just wasn't expecting that to be your answer, which is what made me laugh. But
I know.
There's also the fact it doesn't get churned up in the winter.
Well, that's part of maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. But if you can't get it maintained again, then you've got your field's not in good condition either. And
well, what they do is if they can't get it, what they do is and this is the problem, they actually replace the sod, Dahmer.
Yeah, of course.
You should know from soccer. But the problem is once you replace the sod, you create seams in the grass.
And that's what I'm talking about, the churn up. It churns up, you have to replace it, and you still got those.
You gotta use language that people understand. Yeah, come on, Dom. Let's figure this out. Well, let's go through some of these questions, Dom, because it's getting late your time. It's now 5:15 in the PM. John B says it's my birthday. Going to family dinner. It's John B's. Oh man, I like John B.
Well, happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. Dama wasn't running his mouth so much, I would have seen this comment and I would have said happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John B. Happy birthday to you. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? We're doing well. Dom's doing well. What I said, Hooker is going to be drafted as a backup. Maybe later on in his career, he'll be a bridge quarterback. I agree with that. John says, you are very well known that DJ is a more important position to pay. No, I'm not. Here's the thing, John. No, I don't know this. Because of the fact of this, if DJ flames out, you just invested 6 years in a quarterback. And there's been plenty of guys that you could have picked and replaced Daniel Jones. I don't want to sit. Dom and I talked about this earlier in the stream. I don't want to sit here year 7 going, this is he's 28 now. He's reached that physical maturity. Yeah, the first 6 years he was kind of finding his way because we screwed him up. But year 7, Dom, Daniel Jones is the man.
I mean, I get it. There's great logic there. I mean, look, he's right from the point of view. The quarterback is generally the more important position to play.
But not in the team.
The personnel we had and the way we play football in New York right now, with the team we have right now, Saquon was on a 2-3 year deal. Not more than that. 2-3 year deal.
I'm not saying give Saquon any more than 3 years. But like I said,
he's the cog the offense runs through. He really is.
Pay the man. Let's get to Stanley. Let's see. Bobby is a good depth. Bobby Okereke is a starter. He is a good off the ball. We got to be honest. He is a good off the ball linebacker, which we overpaid for. He is physically gifted. He's sideline to sideline. He is a good pickup. The problem is with Bobby, and this is going back to his day one with the Colts, he can be fooled. His football acclimate is not there in reference to knowing where he needs to be positionally at times. You could see that on the Daniel Jones touchdown run. So you're going to have to live with the good and the bad with Bobby.
When it goes bad, but there's more good than bad.
Well said, Dom. Ooh, look at Dom. We're getting ready to close this out. Look at Dom coming to life. Mike
off the Campbell fiasco.
Yeah, it's true. Mike C says it's a franchise tag is the evil thing. People must be free to over their services to the organization. Bad karma, bad mojo. Shows appreciation to Saquon. Don't slash him with the dirty business. I agree. I think you got to pay Saquon. I really do. Frank,
what's your view on the franchise tag? Would you get rid of it, or do you still think?
I think it serves a value. It was approved by the Players Association. If you get tagged twice, you're going to get bank. And in some regards, considering the position, you may get more over those 2 years of a tag than you would for a 4-year contract, and those 2 years would be guaranteed because the tag is guaranteed. It serves its purpose. It was something that kind of the players gave to the owners after everything that happened with Reggie White and the start of free agency. Because back in the day, before Reggie White, no one ever moved as a free agent. You were with the team. You were with the team basically for life, unless they waived you. I I think it's a necessary evil at times, but I don't have a problem with it.
Well, everyone knows it's there, right? And you know the rules, and you know it could be used.
You know the rules. Frankie says, from Allen to Darnold, if you don't sit and draft a QB for the first year, the odds of that quarterback failing go way up. I think, yeah.
I don't know what the data says on this, but I think I think that it's a situation you go into as the quarterback makes a big difference in whether you start or sit a year. But I would imagine that the data would back up that comment, generally speaking.
John says, dudes, Barkley was offered money first and he didn't accept it. We're going to talk about this real quick again, John, because we've talked about this ad nauseum. No one's saying what that contract was that Barkley was offered. We don't know if it was a 3-year. We don't know what was guaranteed. You have no idea. I have no idea. We don't know if the offer was an insult. Yeah, it may have been an average of 12.1, but maybe only the first year was guaranteed. We don't know. So you can't sit there and say that he should have taken the money. Stanley says, hey, Tim, I don't understand why scouts are sleeping on Jalen Hyatt. I like Hyatt. I did a whole video about him. But I think the Giants should draft Hyatt at 25 because of his explosive 4.3 and he's similar to Tyreek Hill. I think he's more similar to Devontae Smith. I'm a big Hyatt fan out of Tennessee. I don't think Hooker made Hyatt. I think they kind of made each other. But he's the guy that I think I would pick if I had to. I
haven't done a lot of research on him, but I did hear that he's a poor route runner, but I really wouldn't want to back that up because I haven't done enough on him.
He's actually not a bad route runner. I've not done a lot on him. His biggest issue is the fact that he's short in stature and slight in build. And he's almost a Stephen Baker-esque type build. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker for the Giants, that looked like a twig. That's why I said he kind of reminds me of Devontae Smith, and I don't think he's got the type of frame that's going to allow him to add on weight. So you're gonna have to deal with
him as he is. Yeah, like I say, it was just the one thing I had heard about him, but I wouldn't have put my money where my mouth's on that because I haven't done enough on him. Yeah. So that's why I was asking as it came up.
Last couple of questions. Tim, are you open to the Giants taking a safety at 25? No, because there's no positional value there for that. Mike Glenn says Evan Ingram was booed off the field in New York and looked like he's all-world player in Jacksonville. Playing with DJ is there's no guarantee Waller will have a great season. You're actually not right. You're not wrong. I should say that. You're not wrong whatsoever. I do have concerns about that, and I do. We've talked about this before, Dahmer. Name me a wide receiver that left Eli Manning and succeeded in the NFL.
There isn't really one.
And then you take a look at Daniel Jones and you see wide receivers that have come here who have been pillars of society, stalwarts in the community, all pro players, such even going back to, not just Kenny G.
How is Mr. Tate these days?
But going back to Golden Tate, Mr. Golden Domer, and that all of a sudden come to New York, play with Daniel Jones and flame out. And then you have someone like Evan Ingram, and in some regards, even Kadarius Toney, who actually had a couple touchdowns in Kansas City, including the Super Bowl. I mean, it's you know what, we will see you, Ron Juan. Hey, Ron Juan, I haven't seen you in a long time, man. You called it. OBJ wasn't coming here. 18 million 1 year is a lot. Yeah, I mean, I like to take credit for calling that one. It just didn't make sense, Tom.
It never made sense. Financially, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for his injury history. I'm surprised he's gone to Baltimore because if I was him, I would want to go somewhere warmer to protect that injury a bit better. But
Baltimore Baltimore is a grass field and is not a great field.
No,
that is not a great field to be on. Dom is 5:32 or 5:23. I don't know what freaking time it is. I don't know what freaking time it is.
Number dyslexia there.
I do actually. I have dyslexia and number transference. Yes. I do have, people that don't know that about me. A little fun fact about Online Big Blue: dyslexia and number transference, especially when I'm tired, which is why I think I'm having a lot of problems because we had a long night last night. Learn that in college too. They can give you a test.
You had a late night last night, or
they can actually give you a test for this for dyslexia number transference. And I didn't know that until college. I was always not a bad student, but I was a poor student in high school. And then I all of a sudden became like a genius in college because people were like, and because you have to go in these labs, you take tests, and they're like, well, this is your problems. And I love it because they sit there and go, do you do this? I'm like, yep. And they're like, do you do this? I'm like, yep. And then they're like, what's 32? And I was like, you mean 23? They were like, well, there you go right there. There seems to be a problem. It literally took them like 15 minutes to diagnose it.
They have these screens as well that you can put over words to stop them moving around the page.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
See,
and suddenly these kids that couldn't read before can suddenly read.
I'm like Chat GPT. Sometimes my information is there, just all kind of screwed up. What does Stanley say? Stanley says, hey, Tim, what's the pros and cons of Chat GPT? Well, if you watch my Chat GPT video, you will notice Chat GPT video. You will notice that some of its answers do not go past 2022 because they were still talking about Kadarius Toney being on the Giants. And when I asked the draft questions, it said we should take Evan Neal. I also call Chat GPT the Google for the lazy, because honestly, you have to type in what you want it to do. And at that point in time, why don't you just type it in yourself? Why don't you just do it yourself? I mean, I think everything has its point. I think AI is great, I guess. I mean, as long as it makes your life easier and doesn't, like turn on you and kill you by getting the launch codes. I think AI is great. I don't know. That's another show. That's a show called Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Ramblings of the Gen Xer. One of the fastest growing downloaded shows in history of the world.
Reached 5 figures this week.
That's amazing. And no, it was last week. It was last week. We had 10,000 downloads in a week.
That's very good. Congratulations again.
My mom sat there and downloaded that episode 10,000 times.
How many of them were done by Chat GPT?
Chat GPT or GPT. I have to say one thing though. It's interesting that these are 10,000 unique downloads. So it took me a hell of a long time. It took me a hell of a long time to make 10,000 unique accounts and change the IP address every time I downloaded it. There was a lot going on there. That's why I haven't been making. Someone asked me, how come you haven't made a video in 11 days? You try creating 10,000 and then using.
In fairness, you got your normal 43, so you only had to create 9,900.
The good news is I used Aura, and I used which is a proud partner of Online Big Blue Sports Entertainment and all that stuff.
I'm not the new girl at Poppycockers.
And I was able with Aura, I was able to use different IP addresses so I could download make all these downloads. Dom, what do you? I gotta go eat. Close this show out. Close this mess out. We got thunderstorms warnings.
Yeah, we just had ours pass. A lot of fun. Thanks for having me back on. I'll try and remember where Campbell plays next time. I could have sworn he did a year before he came to us, but never mind. Lot of fun as always. Looking forward to draft night.
Let's just get this last one. Tim, do you think DJ can pull the trigger and trusting in a player like Waller? Because Carr trusted Waller even when he was doubled and tripled. No, I don't actually think so. Because if you go to Chat GPT, it even said Daniel Jones needs to get better at his decision-making process and take chances when chances are called for. He even said that. Go watch the video, people. Go watch the video.
It does say that, but can I just end that question after? Tim, do you think DJ can pull the trigger? No. just don't need any more context. Just no.
No, come on. That's not being nice. I think he can. I think he can.
As long as it's 6.2 yards.
I don't think you're giving Daniel Jones enough credit. How's my Chat GPT video doing? How's that video doing? How many people watched that? Oh, it's over 1,000 so far.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. That's not good, but it's not bad. All right, guys, we're gonna close this out. Dom, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everyone hanging out here for the last hour and a half. I gotta go eat my food. I have a Chinese food tonight. Chicken fried rice and dumplings because I'm not really that hungry. I am supportive of Daniel Jones. I am supportive. You missed it where I said Daniel Jones cannot. Giants don't succeed if Daniel Jones doesn't play well.
It's very true. In all seriousness, we gotta hope he plays well, and I certainly support him. And I hope he does. But that doesn't mean I won't say when he's done something wrong.
Right, exactly. All right, Dom, we're gonna close this out. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. This is the New York Giants Straight Talk Online Big Blue Sports Entertainment LLC. Bring you Tim, bring you Dom, bring in all the fun and all the nonsense. We're out of here.